So first of all, thanks for coming. I know you guys are on your way, South by Southwest. Wish I could be there. Timing doesn't work out. You know, how many people here have been to South by Southwest before? Okay, so yeah, the people who've been there before know that it's basically a good excuse. It's spring break for geeks, right? So let's be brutally honest here, right? But it's also it is mind-numbingly creative, rubbing up against all the people that are at South by Southwest. So excited for you guys to be here. Welcome to HP. I know this is kind of your first stop on your way here. So hopefully we fed you breakfast, so you'll be all ready to be creative. I was contacted by some of the people who are part of this who are listeners to my podcast, so Killer Innovations Podcast. Yep. So about 45,000 listeners. This started off as kind of a fluke experiment for me. Actually, I think it's March 27th. I've just finished my 5th year on the podcast, starting year 6. So there's like 140 shows in the back catalog. It's like 90 hours or something like that. And I still get these emails from people saying, "Oh, I just found your podcast. I'm catching up and listening to the entire back catalog." I'm like, 90? You're going to listen to my voice for 90 hours? My wife won't even do that. So more than happy to host you guys. I don't want to, numb you with information, so I'm going to try to just make this fun. This is actually a talk that I give about what I refer to as garage-based innovation. So a little bit of how HP got started from the standpoint of us in the garage, but I've adapted it to being the bus-based innovations. So obviously you guys are going to be in the bus. Part of your task is to come up with some great ideas that you're going to pitch when you get to South by Southwest, correct? So I'm going to try to use this opportunity to kind of maybe kickstart your brains here a little bit, okay? And also, don't make it, I've only got like very few slides. So the Guy Kawasaki rule of 10, 20, 30, we all know the Guy Kawasaki rule, right? 10 slides, 20 minutes, nothing less than a 30-point font. I cheat. It's a 10 slides, 30 minutes. Because I like to tell stories. I can never fit it in 20 minutes, so I'll be up front and tell you that I'm going to go 30 minutes. Bill and Dave. So David Packard's on the right, Bill Hillert's on the left, founders of HP. This is the actual house in Palo Alto on Addison Avenue. This is actually the official birthplace of Silicon Valley. So David Packard and Bill met at Stanford University. David was on the Stanford football team. Bill wanted to be on the Stanford football team. And they actually met at a football practice of which Bill was basically getting pummeled into the ground. And David actually did a little bit of the pummeling in the process. And then they ultimately became friends in college. And actually it was one of their professors who teamed them up and said, "You two really ought to get together and start a company." By that time, David was already working at General Electric in New York. And through coercion and such, David gave up his job. He was newly married in New York to come back to Palo Alto and team up with Bill and start what is now HP. Now the question is about the HP name. Bill and Dave actually flipped a coin for the name of the company, right? So whether it was going to be Hewlett-Packard or Packard-Hewlett, right? They flipped the coin. David won the coin toss. David chose for it to put Hewlett first and then Packard. So kind of a first sign of the teamwork. These two guys not only started HP, they also owned and operated cattle ranches together. They had a large number of land, particularly up here in the Santa Cruz Bay area, Santa Cruz Mountains, that HP employees used to use for camping and cookouts and those kinds of things. And so they did a lot of things outside together. It wasn't just they were partners in the business, they were partners in their day-to-day.